On the night of Tuesday, June 2nd, the American Civil Liberties Union in Minnesota filed a class action lawsuit in collaboration with journalist Jared Goyette on behalf of the journalists who were targeted and attacked by law enforcement this past summer while covering protests over the murder of George Floyd. The ACLU is suing the city of Minneapolis, the Minnesota State Patrol, and the Minnesota Police. They are seeking an order declaring law enforcement's actions unconstitutional and prohibiting them from targeting and attacking journalists again, as well as seeking damages for the injuries sustained. The lawsuit says, quote, "The defendants interfered with the news media's right to cover public events by refusing access to areas where events were unfolding and creating obstacles to the reporters' movements about the city. These incidents constitute flagrant infringements on the constitutional rights of individual reporters as well as the public's interest in the dissemination of accurate information and accountability of government. This is an active case, and the verdict could potentially establish the precedent of how law enforcement around the country should treat reporters. If the ACLU should win the lawsuit, the verdict would reinforce the First Amendment right of a free press by ensuring that journalists are protected during their coverage of public events without interference or harassment from police officers.
Press! 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 Do not fucking point that at me! Press! 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 I'm authorized to be here! I'm authorized to be here! I am here legally! Press! Press!
That was Jared Goyette, the lawsuit's lead plaintiff. He is a freelance journalist who was covering the demonstrations on Wednesday, May 23rd in South Minneapolis. He was shot in the face with so-called, quote, less lethal ballistic ammunition, according to the lawsuit, after repeatedly alerting the police that he was a member of the media and not a protester. In Minnesota and in other cities across the nation, police have repeatedly fired rubber bullets at journalists, blinding one in the eye, tear-gassed them, pepper-sprayed them in the face, and thrown flash grenades directly at them. Several journalists and news crews have also been arrested and detained, sometimes even after they identify themselves as press. The lawsuit cites 6 of these kinds of incidents.
The lawsuit also cites more than a dozen other recorded incidents of Minnesota law enforcement arresting journalists who were covering protests, as well as using physical force, chemical agents, and threatening language and gestures. Journalists aren't the only victims, said Goyette. Quote, actions like this make protesters, people trying to advocate for change, more vulnerable because journalists provide a witness and police are aware of that. Without journalists there, police or other people in power can feel a sense of impunity, that no one will see what's happening anyway. Everyone needs to know people are watching, end quote.
This violence is taking place. There is some action behind you. Hang on.
Yep. We've got one person being arrested here. We've got... We're immediate? Yep, we're good. Yep, hold on. I got you. Hold on. They had us here. We're speaking with State Patrol right now. Give us a second, guys. We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the 4 of us. We are one team. Just put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way, so just let us know. Wherever you'd want us, we will go. We are just getting out of your way when you were advancing through the intersection. So just let us know, and we got you. And this is a scene here playing out in Minneapolis. This is part of the advanced police presence that we saw come over the course of really minutes when the local police showed up at the fire department, or with the fire department, I should say, on that building we showed you that was burning. This is among the State Patrol unit that was advancing up the street, saying and scattering the protesters at that point for people to clear the area. And so we walked away. I'm sorry? You're under arrest. Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir? Officer is with CNN and he's on the air right now.
Okay.
You are arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
If you're just tuning in, you are watching our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, being arrested by state police in Minnesota. We're not sure why our correspondent is being arrested.
Hang on 1 second, Allison. Let's listen into what these officers are saying.
In a statement, ACLU Minnesota Legal Director Teresa Nelson said, quote, "The power of the people is rooted in the ability of the free press to investigate and report news, especially at a time like this when police have brutally murdered one of our community members. Police are using violence and threats to undermine that power, and we cannot let that happen. Public transparency is absolutely necessary for police accountability." Brian Haas, a staff attorney with the ACLU Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project, said, quote, "We are facing a full-scale assault on the First Amendment, freedom of the press." The ACLU says that this lawsuit will not be the last it would file on behalf of journalists who have been harmed covering protests if the verdict does not defend First Amendment rights of reporters.